When I was 7, my mother took a velvet box from the top shelf of her armoire and placed it into my small hands like it was the Holy Grail. Inside rested a necklace so delicate it barely seemed real, an antique gold chain with a teardrop pearl pendant framed by tiny diamonds. "This," she said, brushing a thumb across the pearl, "is the Bennett heirloom, passed down from mother to daughter, always to the bride of the family, and one day it will be yours." I held my breath, terrified I'd drop it. I was the eldest, so of course it made sense. I was the bride, the one who'd carry on tradition. That necklace became more than jewelry. It became a promise. Years passed. My younger sister Leela grew up with me, sharing my room and stealing my clothes, but never the promise. That was mine. I held it quietly like a secret medal of honor. Leela was always the star of the family. Prettier, bubblier, photogenic in a way that made my mother beam with pride. I was the quiet one, the planner, the one who held things together. I got good grades. I helped clean after every family gathering. I didn't sparkle like Leela, but I shone steady. When Tom proposed to me under the maple tree in our backyard, my mother wept. My father lifted his glass and said, finally, the first wedding in the family. I thought maybe, just maybe this would be my moment to shine. We picked a summer date. We chose a cozy vineyard venue just outside town. Everything felt like it was falling into place. Until the fittings started, until the dress, until the comparisons. "She's beautiful," my mother said at one of the bridal appointments, but she wasn't looking at me. She was looking at Leela. "She looks like a bride already, doesn't she?" I turned my head, pretending I hadn't heard. Tom squeezed my hand, sensing the shift. Then it happened again. "She has the glow, that's something special, you know," my aunt whispered to my mother. I was 2 feet away. I heard it all. I laughed it off, tried to anyway. It was just wedding stress. People said things they didn't mean. The night before the wedding, I asked my mother about the necklace. "Can I wear it tomorrow?" I asked, trying to keep my voice casual. She blinked, avoiding my eyes. "Oh right, the heirloom, I'll get it out in the morning," but I knew that tone. I'd heard it before, just before she made decisions that hurt me quietly, but never loudly enough to confront. That night I dreamed of my childhood bedroom, of the velvet box, of promises that melted like sugar on the tongue sweet, but gone too fast. And somehow, deep inside, I already knew. It wasn't going to be there in the morning. The morning of my wedding, the sun came in gold and warm through the window. My heart was racing, nerves and excitement tangled into one. Today was supposed to be the day I had dreamed, of the one where everything would be mine. Love, celebration, the necklace, the makeup artist arrived, then the photographer. My bridesmaids fluttered around the hotel suite, laughing and drinking mimosas. And Leela, my sister, my maid of honor, looked like she'd just walked out of a bridal magazine in her blush satin dress. "You look stunning," she said to me, placing her hands on my shoulders in front of the mirror. "You too," I said. And I meant it, but something sat heavy in my chest. "Did Mom bring the necklace?" I asked. Leela's smile flickered. "Oh, you haven't heard." I froze. "Heard what?" "She gave it to me last night," she said. "It just felt right." Silence. Deafening silence. I turned, sure I'd misheard. "She what?" Leela's face softened into something I can only describe as guilty pity. "I didn't ask for it. She said I had the look, that I embodied what the heirloom represented. You know how Mom is. She always goes with her gut." My throat closed. My vision blurred. She had taken it. After years of promising, it would be mine. After years of being the quiet daughter, the responsible one. I stormed out of the suite and found my mother in the lobby. She was talking to the florist, laughing. "You gave it to Leela?" I asked, my voice barely more than a whisper. She didn't even look shocked, just tired. "Honey, she looked so radiant last night, and I don't know. I just felt it belonged with her. I'm your daughter. So is she. You promised it to me." "I know what I said," she replied. "But sometimes things change. Don't ruin your day over a necklace." It wasn't just a necklace, it was a symbol. Of everything they said they valued. Of everything I thought I had earned. I went through the wedding ceremony like a ghost. I smiled in pictures. I kissed Tom at the altar, but something inside me cracked open. That night, while everyone danced and toasted and laughed under string lights, I slipped away in my wedding gown. I sat barefoot on a bench outside the venue, listening to the music drifting through the vines. Tom found me there. He sat beside me, holding my heels. He didn't ask what was wrong. He just wrapped his jacket around my shoulders and let me cry. I left town 3 days later. No warning, no goodbye. I didn't take calls. I didn't respond to messages. I needed time, I needed space, because the girl who wore that gown didn't survive the betrayal. Someone new would have to rise in her place. 1 year. That's how long it took for the numbness to fade into clarity. I spent most of it traveling. Small towns, quiet beaches, places where no one knew my name or asked about heirlooms. Tom came with me for the first few months, until we both admitted we were grieving different things. He wanted to start over. I needed to burn it all down first. We divorced quietly, no drama, no fighting. Just the soft grief of two people who wanted to be whole and couldn't be. At least not together. Then last week, a gilded envelope arrived at my apartment. It was thick, expensive, and smelled faintly of gardenias. Leela and Adam engagement celebration, hosted by Mark and Evelyn Bennett, my parents. Of course, the girl who looked more like a bride was finally becoming one. I stared at the invitation for a long time. I could have ignored it, but something in me whispered no, not this time. I showed up late, deliberately. The room hushed when I entered, wearing a sleek black dress that hugged my body like armor, my hair pinned up like a crown. I didn't look like the daughter they remembered. I looked like the woman they'd never seen coming. Look who finally decided to show her face. My mother said, her smile too tight. I almost didn't, I replied, but then I remembered family is everything, isn't it? The party buzzed with champagne and faux compliments. Leela played the glowing bride again, her hand draped in diamonds, and around her neck, the heirloom. She caught me staring. She didn't look guilty anymore, just proud, entitled. When it was time for the toasts, my father called for attention. We're so proud of Leela. She's everything we could have hoped for in a daughter. That was my cue. I stepped forward, clinking my glass. If I may, silence fell. Leela's smile faltered. I just want to raise a toast to heirlooms. I turned, eyes on my mother. To the things we pass down when we think no one's looking. People shifted, confused, uncomfortable. And to sisters, I added, turning to Leela, who take what isn't theirs and wear it like it was, beautifully, shamelessly, and my voice didn't shake. Not once. I looked directly at my father next, and to parents who teach us that love can be conditional, but dignity never should be. I raised my glass, to letting go of what was promised, and building something of your own instead. Then I drank, and I walked out. I didn't take the necklace back. I didn't need to. They could keep their heirloom. I had reclaimed something far more valuable, myself.